Evening, everyone. I just wanted to say hello to everyone. This is my first time doing a YouTube live. I wanted to do it this way because I wanted to be able to share it with most people who are not on the YouTube channel or on Facebook. So this is still part of the Living the Proactive Lifestyle, and we are doing the book, The pH Miracle for Weight Loss, and we are up to chapter 5. Chapter 5 is going to be talking about you are what you drink. So we're going to jump right into it because I know that it's late and I want everybody to be able to get to this video and then go on about their business and be able to put into practice everything that we are learning in this process. All right, so it says here the human body is 70% water, and you've got a roughly 10 to 13 gallons of water in your body. And water makes up 75% of volume of your miracle, of your muscles, your heart, and 83% of your brain and kidneys, and 86% of your lungs, and 95% of your eyes. Even 22% of your bones are actually water. Most telling of all, your blood is 90% water. You are literally what you drink. If you don't drink enough, and most Americans don't, or if you drink the wrong things, you will compromise your body and your health. So the last couple of days we've been talking about what is pH. We've been talking about what the pH needs to be in our bodies. We've been talking about acidity versus alkaline. And now we're up to water. All of these things are coming together so that we can get our bodies in shape and ready to be able to fight for what it needs to fight for, build our immunity, burn off this fat so that we can be the right weight for our bodies. All right, so a lot of us don't know that we were 70% water, and a lot of people don't realize that they're most of the time that they are dehydrated. A lot of people don't know that they're supposed to be drinking at least half their body in ounces. Yes, I said it, half your body in ounces. So if you are 140 pounds, that means that you should be drinking at least 70 ounces in water. Now, I know for a lot of people that is hard, especially if you're traveling or you're not used to drinking that amount of water. Of course, when your body is not used to it and is trying to flush out a lot of toxins, the first thing you're going to be doing is running to the bathroom. Now, once we get started doing that, the body does get used to drinking that amount of water, and then it kind of dies down. But believe me, if you get off that regimen, the next thing you know, once you start that water regimen again, you're going to start running back and forth to the bathroom. But it's very, very important. So right now he's talking about the next part of this chapter is he's talking about the dangers of dehydration. He said the average adult loses about 2.5 to 3 liters of fluid a day through sweating, breathing, urinating, moving, even sleeping, and the body becomes dehydrated if it is not replaced. If you don't get enough water, then you'll get fat. Even mild dehydration slows metabolism by as much as 3%. We are so poorly attuned to our body's thirst signals that we interpret them as hunger pangs. That is, if we don't drink enough, we eat too much. Finally, if we don't get enough water, our bodies will actually retain water and we'll feel bloated and uncomfortable and look even fatter than strictly necessary. An acidic body pulls water into the tissues to try to neutralize the acids there. Most important, the body uses water to neutralize acids, to dilute excess acid, and to literally wash them and all toxins out of the body via urine and sweat and through the bowels. Without enough water, your body becomes too toxic and goes into preservation, fat storing mode. So this is something that I didn't even know. I knew that the body had false signals, that if you didn't drink enough water, that sometimes your body will make you feel like as though you're hungry, but you're not really hungry, you're thirsty. But I did not know that the body, without the body having too much water, that it will become too toxic and that it goes into preservation mode. I didn't know that it reserved water. I thought, but I did find out, which I'm going to go into a little bit later, that it does start pulling things from the rest of the body, and that becomes even more dangerous. So he goes on to say that lack of water is the number one cause of daytime fatigue. Without enough water, you won't have enough energy. You'll feel tired and weak. So when we need to have more energy, sometimes the body just needs more water. So in order to perk up your energy, instead of grabbing that cup of coffee, which a lot of us may do, or that black tea, we should grab some water. All right. So the acid that builds up in your tissues when you don't get enough water acts like a meat tenderizer, making your muscles flabby and weak. Studies show that a 3% drop in water causes a 10% drop in muscle strength and an 8% drop in speed, as well as lower muscular endurance. So this is very interesting. I didn't know that either, that when you don't drink enough water, that your muscles become flabby. And I guess that's because your muscles need water to bulk up. So if we want to start seeing more of our definition, not only do we have to eat less acidic foods, but we also have to drink more water so that we can start seeing our muscles form the way they're supposed to. It says here also that by the time you get to a 4% drop in body water, you'll experience dizziness and a fall as much of 30% in your capacity for physical labor. Drop another percentage point and you'll have problems with concentration, drowsiness, impatience, and headaches. One of the most common signs of dehydration, along with dry skin. So losing another percent can cause your heart to race and your body's temperature regulation to go out of whack. So we just think that we just need to drink water because we just need to drink water. But now we're realizing that all of the functions of our body actually needs this water in order to survive and to function properly. So we need to drink more water. So that dizziness, the irritation, it may be fatigue, but it also may be the fact that we're dehydrated. It may not necessarily be that we are lacking water. I mean, lacking food or lacking energy, but it could be that we're lacking water and our bodies are starting to react. So we have to look at that as another sign and grab that bottle of water. Okay, so lightheadedness and cold hands and feet can also result. And then it says here, the list goes on: anxiety, irritability, depression, sugar cravings, and cramps. And as far as making you sick, when the dehydration gets a little more severe, symptoms include acid reflux or heartburn, joint and back pain, migraines, fibromyalgia, constipation, colitis, and angina. Serious dehydration is linked with asthma, allergies, diabetes, hypertension, and such skin problems as eczema, rashes, spots, blemishes, and acne. Degenerative conditions including morbid obesity, heart disease, and cancer are all linked with serious long-term dehydration. So it could be that the answer to a lot of our needs is the water. Okay, so that's since it's the main thing in our body, it's one of the most potent things in our body, is what our body seems to need the most. We need to be drinking more water. And also, if we go back to the past lessons, when we learned about the acidity, remember that the water is what's actually helping to flush the acidity out of our bodies. So it also says here that although you can go about 30 days without eating, you can't live 72 hours without water. Your body uses as much water in cold weather as it does in warm, and as much when you are sleeping as when you are awake. Now, one of the new habits that I've developed after starting at Fountain and starting to learn more about the importance of water is that I keep a bottle of water, a bottle of my alkaline water near my bed. So every time I get up to go to the bathroom, when I come back to the bed, I drink some more water because I'm letting out. So it's during that urination process that our bodies are removing toxins and removing the fat stores and everything that the body needs to flush out during that urination process. So that's one of the ways that I'm making sure that I'm getting my water. My goal and what I need for my weight is a half a gallon of water a day. So I carry a half a gallon bottle with me. And then at the end of the day, if I didn't finish that water, then I have to finish it during the night. But nonetheless, even if I do finish it, I want to get a head start on the next day because I know that with the teaching that I do and the kind of work that I do and the talking that I do, my mouth gets dry. I'm sweating, so I want to get a head start on the water that my body needs for the next day. So let me know in the comments below what you're doing to make sure that you're getting excess water or more water into your diet. So the next section is called Hydrate for Health. And here he says those who provide their bodies with this critical element for normal performance in everything from temperature regulation and toxic exertion to joint lubrication and fat metabolism. Water helps process just about every biological, mechanical, and chemical action that takes place in your body. It cushions and protects vital organs. It transports nutrients within each cell and dispels acidic waste, and your lungs need water to humidify the air they move. So the digestive system uses several gallons of water daily to process food. Your brain needs water to perform the chemical reactions required to run your body. Your pancreas uses water to alkalize food coming out of the stomach and into the intestines. Water keeps your skin soft and supple, increases oxygen in the blood, and maintains normal electrical properties of the cell, improving cell-to-cell communication. So if we needed any more reason other than this, I don't know what else to say. It's like we need water. Okay, I know people like juice and people tell me they don't like water. It may be the type of water, which we'll get into a little bit later. But water is so, so important. So I'm hoping that from what you are hearing, and hopefully that you'll get the book and just go into more detail, because there's certain things I'm just only reading what I figured was the most important, and I'm out on underlining and underscoring and bringing off to you. But it's just so, so important that we have water in our system. He says here the New York Hospital Cornell Medical Center indicates that 8 to 10 glasses of water a day could significantly reduce back and joint pain for up to 80% of sufferers. So those of us who have issues with our muscles, our joints, arthritis, he's saying here that the New York Hospital Cornell Medical Center is stating that if we just drink more water, our joints and our pains will pretty much, kind of go away. And also he's saying here that the University of Washington study showed that 1 glass of water shuts down hunger pangs for nearly all dieters in a study, and German researchers found that drinking water increases the rate at which you burn calories. Just 2 cups of water increased metabolic rate by almost a third, and it stayed up for about a half an hour. When they reported their findings to the Journal of Clinical Endocrinology and Metabolism, they calculated that getting an additional 1.5 liters of water a day for a year could mean burning off an extra 17,400 calories, or about 5 pounds. So water helps us to lose weight. Okay, so that's the important part too. Remember the right water, and we're getting ready to talk about the right water is so important, because drinking the wrong water, even though it is water, okay, can also reverse all of the good things that a good water can possibly do. So now he's talking about the right water. For all of the wonders of water, the wrong kind of water can actually make you sick, tired, and fat. Your water just about everything else you take in must be electron rich and alkaline. Sadly, almost all of the readily available water is acidic, and this will make your body acidic and send it into a whole fat holding cycle of self-preservation. With acidic water, you're never going to reach your ideal weight and your ideal state of health. Body cells are only as healthy as the fluids they are bathed in. The most important characteristics of truly healthy water are in its purity, its pH, the electron activity, and molecular structure. So then he goes on to talk about the purity. So there's a lot of toxic things out there, and the Physicians of Social Responsibility reports that over 75,000 toxic synthetic and chemical compounds can be identified in this country's water sources, though only a fraction of them are targeted for regulation. The Environmental Protection Agency, EPA, recently documented approximately 83,000 violations of water quality standards by municipal water systems, featuring over 21,000 contaminants, organic and inorganic, over the past 30 years. Almost 200 of them already proven to be linked with adverse health effects. So that to me is really scary, that the water that we're drinking on a regular basis that may be coming out of our faucet does not have the purity that they're claiming it to be. Now, like he said here in this chapter, that only some of them are being regulated. So the others that are not being regulated, they're allowing to come into our water supply. And to me, that's crazy, because that means we don't even know what is actually in our water, and we're drinking it every single day. So the next thing he talks about is the pH. He says drinking alkaline water washes away acids and waste, helping your whole body to stay alkaline. By providing alkaline water to neutralize and remove acid from the tissues, you'll stop the body from gleaning alkaline substances from other body parts to do the job, like leaching calcium from your bones. Acidic water could contain toxic metal ions like lead, cadmium. What is that word? I can't even say what that word is. That's one of those crazy words. Cadmium and mercury, which is in excess can cause serious health issues. Conversely, alkaline water may be filled with alkaline minerals your body needs, like calcium, magnesium, and potassium, and in the only form your body can absorb ionically. And negative microforms won't be able to thrive in an environment supplied with plenty of alkaline water. So 2 to 3 teaspoons of sodium bicarbonate, which is plain old baking soda, or sodium silicate, can also cause your water to become alkaline. So if you can't get to alkaline water, but you have some old, plain old baking soda, 2 to 3 teaspoons in your water. So if you're traveling somewhere and you can't get to your alkaline water or your fountain store, you can always add 2 to 3 teaspoons of sodium bicarbonate. So that's good to know. All right. So then he goes on to the electron activity and energy potential. All right. So to reach your ideal weight, your water must be energized. And energized water is saturated with electrons, highly charged, and full of potential energy. So what we're learning here is that the regular water that we're drinking is basically what he's saying is dead water. And in order to really charge your body, you have to have electron-rich water, which is also what he's talked about, the food, and also what he said our body needs as far as our blood is concerned. So again, we're all just going into different aspects of alkalinity. First, we want to make sure that our water is alkaline. We want to make sure our food is alkaline, so that our blood can become alkaline, so that our cells can become stronger, our muscles can become stronger, all of our body is going to be positively charged with enough energy to be able to fight off sickness and disease, and improve our immune system, and also to fight off diseases, remove pain, help the body to burn fat. So again, this alkaline lifestyle seems very, very positive to me, and I don't see any reason why we would not want to do this. So also he's talking about the molecular structure of the water, and he says that the large clusters of molecules in regular water cannot permeate cell membranes very well, and so can't hydrate the cells from the inside. So the smaller the size of the cluster of molecules, the better able the water is to hydrate the cell, and more oxygen it can provide. So alkaline water, basically, what he starts going into a lot of the scientific reasons behind alkaline water and the molecular structure, is that it's so small that it can get into our cells much easier than regular water that does not have a high pH level. So he starts going into water, every which water to drink, and he starts talking about which waters are better, and he goes through the different types of waters, the different manufacturers of water, and he shows what the alkalinity is and what the pH level is, excuse me. And that is just very, very interesting. So the last thing that I want to talk about, because I did say how much water we were supposed to drink, but the thing that I want you to really, really get out of this little session that we're talking about is, like, yes, we want you to drink water, but we also want you to make sure that you're drinking the right water. And purified alkaline water is the best way to go. And if you can't get to that, just make sure that the water that you're drinking is not acidic water. Now, how can you tell whether the water is acidic? Well, from what I've learned so far at Fountain, and you can look it up online as well, and I'll probably make sure to share that video that I found in regarding, and some people may have already seen it, about the line of bottled water that they went through, and they tested each one to see the alkalinity and the pH level. And you believe it, you're going to be so surprised that the most popular waters out there are not what the manufacturers are claiming them to be. But nonetheless, the best way that I know at this point to test your water is not only to get the pH drops to test your water to see what the alkalinity is, but also from like a standpoint that if you can squish the bottle and it's really soft, that bottle is not going to be the best bottle of water to drink, because that's what they call tempered plastic. They use very, very high heat to heat that bottle, to shape that bottle. And the water that they place inside the bottle to cool it is actually the water that you're drinking. So yes, the water, they used high heat to shape the plastic. They call it tempered plastic. And then to cool the plastic, to keep it shaped, they have to fill it with cold water. And the water that they're placing inside the plastic and seal it is what they're selling to you to drink. So can you imagine how much plastic and chemicals that water is leaching from that hot plastic? The other thing is, you really shouldn't get, unfortunately, because things have to be transported, you really shouldn't get your water in a plastic bottle. But if the bottle is going to be plastic, it needs to be hard. So that means you should not be able to squeeze it so hard. It should be a hard plastic. It should say BPA free. Also, you need to look on the bottle. The bottle has an expiration date. A lot of people didn't know that. I didn't know that until it was pointed out to me that plastic bottles have expiration dates. So from the time that they manufacture it to the time that it gets to you and to the store and on the shelves, the water is leaching the chemicals from the plastic into the water. So what the manufacturer is doing is like, okay, you have until this date that we can guarantee that what you're drinking is not going to be that detrimental. So that's why they tell you don't freeze the plastic. That's why they told you not to leave it in your car and let it get overheated, because they know the dangers of that water sitting next to that plastic. So the other thing is, if at all possible, get alkaline water. There are several alkaline manufacturers out there that you can use. I'm just going to say that not everybody can get to a fountain store because it's in Long Island, and we really are trying to convince them to come out closer to Queens or Brooklyn or somewhere, because everybody needs this water. Our water is triple filtered. It's 278 contaminants removed. It has molecular hydrogen infused in it, and it's over natural minerals. So it's not being forced to be alkaline by some systems out there are forcing their water to be alkaline with a high pH of 9 and 10, and that's not natural. A natural spring's water is the natural pH is anywhere from 8.8 to a 9, and maybe sometimes even a little less, depending on how long it's been or where you're getting it from. So again, you don't want a squishy bottle. You don't want if at all possible, you don't want your water to be in plastic at all. You want your water to be in glass whenever possible. If you have to transfer your alkaline water into glass, I prefer that you do that. Also, your alkaline water should not be in a clear plastic. It should be in a dark plastic or a blue plastic or blue color bottle, so that it will reflect or deflect the effects of sunlight, because sunlight also pulls away the alkalinity of the water. So a lot of people don't know that either. So either way, make sure that your water is clean, it's pure, it's alkaline. It's not in plastic. It needs to be in glass whenever you can, or transfer it to glass as soon as possible. So now I'm just going to read this last thing, and then I'm let you guys go for the night. And it says, drinking water. Water sold for human consumption must contain no added sweeteners or chemical additives other than flavors, extracts, or essences that comprise less than 1% of the product's final weight. Otherwise, it is no longer considered water, but a soft drink. Drinking water must be sugar-free and either salt-free or very low in sodium. So I put that out there to say, because a lot of people say, oh, if I can't drink water unless it has taste to it. My suggestion to you is to actually put, if you can't drink the water the way it is, please do not buy the flavored waters. They're using artificial sweeteners to sweeten that water, and it's changing the composition of the water. If you need to add something to the water, add your lemons, add your limes, add your slices of oranges or tangerines into the water, your cucumbers into the water. That will actually help the flavor of the water in a natural way. And especially if you're adding lemons and limes into the water, you are helping the alkalinity of the water, because lemons and limes are super alkaline. So it'll help your digestion, it'll help you to lose weight, and you're getting the water benefits at the same time. So water, as we've realized, is one of the most important things we can put, especially alkaline based water is one of the most important things we could place in our bodies, along with choosing really good alkaline foods and staying away from too much of the processed acidic foods like fast and processed foods. All right, so hopefully tomorrow we'll get on to chapter 9. So talking about fat, we're going back to talking to fat. So again, I thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for tuning in. And thank you for joining us for the pH Miracle for Weight Loss. And I can't wait to hear about what you're doing to improve your health through the living the proactive lifestyle. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.